Basic introduction to Arctic. The land of white and wonder. The beautiful pristine Arctic region is affected by climate change, pollution, and the global economy. The Arctic is warming 3 times faster than the global average. We call this as an Arctic amplification. There is a significant increase in the melting of glaciers and permafrost. Greenland is currently losing 234 billion tons of ice per year. So the question is whether Arctic is a destination or an experience, because Arctic has diverse wildlife. There are polar bears, caribou, walrus, ptarmigan, puffins, etc. And it is also having taiga, tundra forest, lichens, mosses, shrubs, coniferous trees. It is having a rich flora with around 1,700 species. There is also indigenous people who live in the Arctic region. Inuits, Sami, Komi, Nenets, Yupik, etc. are some of the major people who are living in the Arctic region. It is also having midnight sun and the aurora borealis. There are ice caves, lagoons, glaciers, waterfalls, waterways, moline, which are much bigger, and we also have small streams like fjords. There are volcanoes, geysers and hot springs together, and there are fumaroles, mountain ridges, lava rock and black sand, which beautify that region. Similarly, when we look at the land space, there are plateaus, valleys, mountain peaks, cliffs and basalt columns. So in other words, what we can say is Arctic has rich biodiversity. Due to the global warming, there are a lot of changes and challenges facing Arctic region. There is a erosion of Arctic coastline that is around 2 meters per year. The Arctic coastline is eroding. You can see here how the sea line is broken, and we are seeing vegetation and growth of plants in the areas previously covered with ice. Due to loss of ice, polar bears are finding it difficult to hunt, which is leading to many human, animal and conflicts. The Arctic is where the snow never melts. This was a statement which was given earlier, but now that is changed to shrinking of Arctic ice. The winter maximum sea ice, that is in the month of March, is 7.7% below the 1979 to 2000 average. Here in this graph we can see in the year 1980 there are 7 million square meters of ice which was present in the Arctic region, which is now close to 4.3 or 4.4 million square kilometers. So that means there is a drastic change of sea ice that is happening in the Arctic region. Similarly, the summer minimum sea ice, that is the September, is at an alarming 31% below the 1979 to 2000 average. In fact, the September Arctic ice is now shrinking at a rate of 12.2% per decade compared to its average extent during the period from 1981 to 2000. And what could be the reason? One of the reasons is the ice albedo feedback. That means when the sunlight falls on the white ice, more than 80% of the light is reflected back to the space. That is called the albedo effect. But when the sea ice melts, the darker seawater reflects only about 10% of the sunlight and the remaining gets absorbed, leading to the warming of ocean, which leads to a positive feedback. That means melting of ice leads to warmer ocean, which leads to further melting of ice. So the loss of whitely reflective ice can contribute to somewhere between 30 to 50% of Earth's global heating. When we look at the Arctic and the global warming, it is also having some positive effects. For example, the ice-free northern sea route will quickly connect Asia to Europe. So here we can see the Europe people can easily go through this ice-free northern sea route to the Asia. So this will increase the trade between Asia and Europe. And Arctic is a carbon source as well as carbon sink, because if the water melts, it can also absorb a lot of carbon dioxide. So the melting of ice may also lead to increase of carbon dioxide removal. So that is also a possibility. And Arctic is rich in oil, natural gas and minerals and fish. So that means when the ice melts, we can actually reach, or we can get lots of oil and natural gas and minerals from the sea. And moreover, the scientific cooperation is actually overshadowed by this economic utilization of resources in the Arctic region. So that means we will be looking at what are all the councils which are being set up to regulate how the Arctic resources are to be shared with the nations. And similarly, we will be looking at other aspects of scientific cooperation between various countries. Here we see the polar bear, that is hunters on the ice. So the question is what I can do to polar bears. If you look at this one, the eye is the one which is actually making a lot of changes. When the eye is gone, the hunters on ice becomes hunters once. This is a grave concern for all the people because global warming driving polar bears to extinction. There are various reports which are telling about this particular phenomena. The future prediction is really very bad for the polar bears. So we have to do something to reduce the global warming. Let us look at some facts about the Arctic. So Arctic is a region surrounded by land mass. Around 25 million square kilometers are surrounded by the land mass in the Arctic region. And the Arctic Ocean is the shallowest and the smallest one with 14 million kilometers. This is close to twice the size of Australia or 1.5 times the size of USA. And close to 4 million people inhabit Arctic region. That means around 10% of the people are basically indigenous people. Some of the ice sheets in the Arctic regions are 500,000 to 200,000 years old. That means we have a very old ice that is present in the Arctic region. And the Arctic region contains about 10% of world's fresh water. And we are only looking at above the sea. But if you look at below the sea, Lomonosov submarine ridge divides the Arctic Ocean into two oceanic basins. One is the Eurasian Basin and the Amerindian Basin. So here we say this is the Amerindian Basin and this is the Eurasian Basin. This is the Lomonosov ridge which separates these two basins. And this particular basin spans from Ellesmere Island of the Canadian Arctic archipelago and the New Siberian Islands over 1800 kilometers. So here is the Ellesmere Island and here is the East Siberian Shelf. So this ridge goes from Ellesmere Island to the East Siberian Shelf. Some other facts about the Arctic. So Arctic actually experiences 24 hours of sunshine, or in some time of the year there is no sun at all. That means few of the months have full sunshine 24 hours and few of the months will have no sunshine at all. Let us look at some of the scientific interest in the Arctic region. So if you look at who are interested in the Arctic, there are plenty of people starting from sociologists, biologists, chemists, glaciologists, psychologists, geologists, tourists, architects, and there are other industries which are shipbuilding, oil exploration, marine and corrosion prevention. All these people are interested in Arctic.